Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, November 23rd, 2024. In this video, we're going to take a look at some alt news chatter that has involved the US Treasury. Now, before I get going too far on this, I am going to tell you, I do not consider myself to be an expert in financial matters or anything involving the Federal Reserve or the US Treasury. Knowing that, I did a little homework. I'm going to share that homework with you so you can be up to speed. And if you find that I've said something that's incorrect, please feel free to politely set people straight in the comments because I'm doing my best to be very accurate with what I convey, but I'm human. I make mistakes, both with the tarot and just in life in general. Okay. Well, I had a viewer that told me that they had noticed in some commentary going on in another podcaster's video that someone said that they had were working for the US Treasury and they had been laid off. It sounded like it was a pretty big layoff too, and that layoff had included a 2-year severance pay. Well, a quick Google search on my part told me that is what the standard severance issuance is for Treasury employees, both in the United States and in Canada. If you work for the Treasury and you're laid off, you get a 2-year severance package. It's pretty nice. Gives them time to learn how to code or pick fruit, right? Well, then I went on to say, okay, what's going on? What significance is this to us? Did a little review, and I'm going to share it with you. Okay, so I'm taking you to a share screen, and it is by no means, like I said, I have a life. I didn't want to spend hours on this and try to become an expert in one day. I wanted to be able to say what I said and have some data to back it up, and that would help me formulate an intelligent question to the universe for the tarot to answer because I'm interested in these layoffs and I bet you are too. And I wonder what the significance of them might be. But first, I wanted to know a little bit more about the situation. So when I go to the share screen, it's over on Facebook. There's a Facebook link in the video description box. Sorry if you don't like Facebook, YouTube does. So they let me put a link for Facebook, and that's how I have to do things till things change. Okay. But if you don't like it, just listen. I'll tell you where I found things, and you could do a little searching on your own, maybe, and come up with some better sources. So I encourage you to do that if you can. Here's that share screen coming right up. Here's a picture of the US Treasury building. And I tried to confirm that there might still be some fencing around it. There has been several times in the last few years. I could not find out if currently there was, but I was interested in that. So that's why I picked that for my thumbnail. That is the US Treasury building. And then I went to Badlands Media. Okay. And here was an article. It's actually over a year old, but it's still very valid, talking about what's going on. This author, I want to give credit here, Joe Lang or Lange, I don't know how he would say that, but he did a really nice job of talking about how throughout his business career, there's been numerous times that Donald Trump has filed for bankruptcy. In each and every case, it wasn't a personal bankruptcy, it was a one for his company. And he puts out the theory, and I think it's pretty well based on fact, that Donald Trump is actually the master of not only the deal, but bankruptcy. And to make some changes to our world, our fiat money system needed to go bankrupt, kind of in a, just a synopsis way. So here's his article. I'm scrolling down. If scrolling bothers you, look away for a minute. There's a 7 minute, again, it's not new, but this gentleman pretty much sums up in the probably minutes 2 through 4 of it, a little bit about what's going on, how Donald Trump had lots of distractions the media followed while he made some very tangible changes within the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department. So that's kind of interesting. I found it interesting to see. I felt like I knew a little more about it, what was going on. I knew who Trump had appointed and what the ratio of Trump appointees were to ones that he inherited from other administrations. And I thought, okay, I know a little more. Okay. Well, then I wanted to confirm something that I remember putting memes up about in 2020. And that was that in 2020, the Federal Reserve was rolled into the Treasury Department. So I confirmed that, and here's an article about that. You can do a quick Google search of your own. Again, this one was from badlands.substack.com, and this one, and it was for the Badlands Media. And then this one is just simply an article that I found doing a Google search about the Federal Reserve rolled into the US Treasury. Now, if you say, what's the significance of that? Because I did, okay? Here was what I think it kind of sums it up in a nutshell that we can all understand. So in March 2020, Trump rolled the Federal Reserve into the US Treasury, and the Treasury is controlled by the president as part of the executive branch. Now, prior to that, the Federal Reserve, which is not federal, it was a private bank that was owned by the Rothschilds, had a lot of worldwide dominance and control in all matters financial. So now with this move in 2020, okay, Trump was able to take that control away from the Rothschilds and bring it under the control of the executive branch of the United States by combining the two of them. Okay, the Federal Reserve and the US Treasury are now working for the American people, not central banks. So in 2020, Donald Trump, while we were worrying about lots of other things, including all those impeachment things and things like that that they tried for him, following those bouncing balls, as that YouTube video guy talks about it, he was quietly setting the stage here for some big permanent changes to our financial landscape and the future of the United States of America. Okay, and the biggest one is that the Treasury is controlled by the executive branch of the United States, and the executive branch is our president, as it now stands. So now when we get to being officially acknowledged again as a republic, that may change. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, and there's an article about the current nominee for the, let me click on that real quick, that Treasury Secretary has been nominated to be Scott Bessart. I didn't want to get into that. It's a controversial appointment. But the fact that if he is in charge of the Treasury and he answers to the executive branch, I'm not too concerned about it. Now, I want to be clear about something else too. I'm going to stop the share right here because that's really all I had. Okay. I am not a blind Trump follower. Okay. I am going to be watching with care and discernment to see what kind of actions in this second official administration roll out. I'm hopeful we will see reduced government. I'm also hoping there'll be other changes within our plane of existence that change a lot of things. But if we are dealing with the flip side of the same coin, I think we're going to know it. But I want to give Mr. Trump the benefit of showing us through his actions and or lack of them what's happening, what kind of changes he's really promoting, because he's made some fantastic promises as far as our world making some significant changes, people having the opportunity to not just be debt slaves and work all the time. He's talked even about flying cars. So I'm going to give him the chance to show us what he's been hinting at or alluding to. And I'm not going to be following the fear porn that says, oh, congratulations, you got fooled again. You didn't have two candidates this time either. It didn't matter which one won. I want to believe that it matters. And I think I can, by having my eyes open, I'll know what's going on. And I hope you feel the same way too. Let's give him a chance. Okay. I'm not even saying, trust the plan. I think there are plans out there. Some of them are beyond the earthly plane. Those are the ones I trust the most and know the least about. But I just wanted to say that. So don't think I'm, just a little blindly following minion here. But I'm not going to jump ship at the first concerning appointment or things like that. I'm going to wait and see how it rolls out. Okay. And just see, and I hope that election integrity changes are a priority, not in year 4 of this coming administration, but immediately, and that we have lots of cleanup here in the United States because that will radiate out into the world and across this earthly plane. So We have heard that there are lots and lots of Treasury staff people that are being laid off. And I'd like to ask the universe for the accuracy of that, and then the significance of that, and just insights and information in general about the US Treasury. So let's see what's going on with it, okay? I'll stop the Laura's view type of thing, and we'll find out from the tarot what they want us to know. Again, if the yes or no element to this question is, are the reports accurate that there are numerous layoffs already over a month before President Trump officially returns to office? And, the significance of that, if so. So let's find out. Maybe we'll come away from here not just a little more informed about what has happened with the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Department, but kind of some of the significance of what we're learning too. So is the Treasury Department going through a lot of layoffs right now? Is that accurate? And then insights and information in general, plus possible significance of the actions that we're being told about. So I want to leave the universe kind of free to inform about insights, information, and significance. We're going to let the universe decide what we need to know, or at least a start to it. Okay, our first card is the Two of Pentacles. Lots of pentacles. We were asking about the Treasury Department. These are tangible. Tangibles is what the Pentacles is all about. Then we have the Six of Pentacles. We're getting reassured here with the Six of Wands. The Sun, further reassurance, a beautiful card to show up. Near future, hello, 2 and 3 of Wands keep showing up, letting us know that our world is making some changes. We're going places, guys. And the Wheel of Fortune, wow. And Strength. Okay, so we have out of 7 cards, we got 1, 2, 3 of them that are major arcanas, which say the information conveyed by these cards is pretty immutable. And then the other cards, there's nothing worrisome in them at all. So let's take a look at what we've got. I'm going to pull extra cards before we're done to get further insights looking ahead. I understand that if there's been layoffs, they are traumatic, possibly for people that were in for a career, or say you've got 3 years to retirement and you get 2 years pay, you're short a year. There could be, I'm sure there's situations that would be not pleasant, but for other people that get laid off without cause and then have to wait 6 or 8 weeks to draw a small unemployment check. I mean, it's difficult to be overly sympathetic with a 2-year, severance pay package. That's pretty nice that a lot of people would not have. Okay, so we've got the situation being showed here with the Two of Pentacles. And again, our universe has kind of a dry sense of humor. So look at this, where one's kind of rolling in towards the other. So the significance of the fact that the Federal Reserve has rolled into the Treasury. And again, the Treasury answers to the executive branch. So this is a good development. It was done because there's plans for our financial system to be of more benefit and more stable, and for our economy to stop having the flip-flops that it has had under the central banking system and the Rothschild management. So when that happened, that was a successful move. That was a victory for both Trump and his first administration and the American people as a whole. Now, boom, we come to the current situation. We're told, don't worry. The sun means everything is falling into place. There is a big plan here that is coming out and falling into place, and it's one that benefits innocent life and the rest of us. So I love that that showed up there. So the Sun card, a little more about it. It does talk about things are falling into place, things are going according to plan. And then look, there's a horse that's indicated with the card, and that is a symbol of freedom. So freedom of movement. So the changes that have been made have been actually to remove some shackles on both the financial system and the tax burden of the American people, and just some of the debt slavery that we have found ourselves in. And part of that, again, was that President Trump is the master of the strategic bankruptcy, and our financial system needed to go bankrupt, and it's been done in such a way that there hasn't been a huge, horrible crash. I don't see one indicated here either. Okay, but at some point, with the massive debt that's worldwide that cannot be paid, at some point, even minimal interest payments on that debt are not going to be allowed to be paid. And that's the time that we need to go to a more asset-backed system. Also, by moving the Federal Reserve into the Treasury, it takes away the central banking option. That central banking reset that they tried to do is not on the table. And that is good news for the human race again. And then we have, let's look forward. One of the other means for the Three of Wands here for the recent near future is expansion and success. So again, we've got success, success, victory, success, victory, success, for increased freedom, success. And if you've been watching my channel for any length of time at all, you know that when the Wheel of Fortune shows up in any read that involves politics or current events, our world is going from dark to light. Now, in a personal read, it could be the opposite. Okay, but right now we're talking about current events, and our world is going from dark to light, and this is a positive development. The changes we're seeing, we're going to be seeing some downsizing, if not, a total overhaul of the Treasury Department. We are not, even if we go to a financial system that is the quantum financial system, there are still going to be the opportunity for people to use notes and cash and coins so that we can go to garage sales and have fruit stands, and or if our religious beliefs don't allow us to use credit cards, debit cards, things like that, we'll still have the ability to buy and sell and have that freedom to do so. So, I mean, I know I live in a countryside that has a lot of Amish, and the farmers and the builders and everything like that, they tend to work with cash payments, and they don't personally use, as far as I'm aware, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, credit cards or debit cards, things like that. They use the currency, legal currency. Now, the Strength card again is reassuring us strength. We've got the infinite resources here in the strength and love, and yeah, just the fear not. Even those that have had in the past the ability to cause problems and oppose us are going to be aware of the strength and stand down. So we got the roll in, which was a good thing. I mean, these are fantastic cards, guys. I hope you can tell that. Let's get a couple more cards and see what's going on. Another six showing up. Now, here's what's interesting. We have the Six of Wands, we have the Six of Pentacles, and now we have the Six of Swords. And one of the things when you have multiple sixes showing up, it talks a little bit about irritability and grouchiness. So the universe is giving us a nod here as well that, yeah, they're not happy about it because it's been such a clear success that has not been able to be hijacked. So sad, too bad, Deep State. Okay, and then the Six of Swords always talks about going from a place of troubled water to a better place where there's more calm and safety for innocent life. And don't we want that for all of us? And then we have the Nine of Swords, which always talks about worry and anxiety. But again, it kind of reassures you that there's not as much to worry about as you might think. So if you're worried about changes to this financial system, sit back and watch for them to roll out and see what happens. I am. And in fact, I had someone that paid for a private reading asking what they should do with their finances and got nothing that was worrisome for them. I mean, they paid for it, so I'm not going to give you their exact data. But again, not nearly as much to worry about as we might be led to believe. And again, who wants us fearful and anxiety? The deep state, evil, because they feed off that. We have the Queen of Swords here, and then the Eight of Cups. Okay, so again, where I told you that we would have the option to still have currencies and notes and things like that, we're getting the nod to that here with the Seven of Cups. We'll have choices for our currency. We won't be all led as cattle by the nose into one specific way of buying and selling. So That's good to know we'll still have that freedom that having cash in our pocket can provide. And then the Queen of Swords. Now, she can be tricky with personal reads, but in the current events and stuff, she's pretty good to show up. She is talking very nicely about being objective, clear thinking, use your logic, don't make any panic moves. And she's very strong and patient and just urging us to be the same. So while there's some changes going on, we need to know that they're successful so far, will continue to be, that they're very good, that they're taking us where we want to go as far as more freedom and more safety. We've got the freedom indicated here, and more safety. And just, the choice to worry is yours, but it's a silly choice to make. All right. So that's what I've got for this read of what's going on with the Treasury. Yeah, we didn't get any kind of a Ace showing up saying hard yes about the layoffs, but I didn't see anything to indicate that they weren't happening. So I believe they are. And the significance of them is it's all part of a bigger plan to have changes happen to our financial system besides what happened during Trump's first administration when the Federal Reserve was rolled into the US Treasury and control of that left the Rothschild family. Poor family. So let's recap. I had heard from one of my viewers that there were layoffs happening with the US Treasury Department, and there was the thought that that might be significant and wondered what that might be about. I did a little homework, so I was a little more familiar with the Treasury and the fact that the Federal Reserve was rolled into it in March of 2020, that the Treasury now is not now, but is under the executive branch of government, which is our president. And so it removed the enormous influence from the central bank and the Rothschilds with the who had the Federal Reserve back to where the American people could benefit from that change. So we asked what was going on, and I'm so glad I asked for significance because it seemed like in this video there was a lot of significance information about what we were asking about. So let's go over some of it. If you don't have time to listen to my entire recap, everything was positive. There's nothing that I need to give you a heads up or warn you about, really. The change, the rollout of or roll in of the Federal Reserve to the Treasury was indicated with the two of Pentacles. You had numerous pentacles that showed up at first, which makes perfect sense because pentacles are about tangibles. They're about money, gold, precious metals, land, homes, things like that, things that tangible assets. And it was done to benefit. The changes have been made really with the needs, wants, and changes needed to be made to benefit the average American citizen. So that was nice to see. Now, I think when we talked about how in March of 2020, that blending of those two agencies occurred, it was a big victory moment, absolutely a big victory moment. We had a couple of horses show up, which are talk about strength and freedom. So we had a horse here with our victory card of the Six of Wands. And then one is always present in the Sun card, which talks about things falling into place. This was our current one. Things are falling into place. These changes aren't happening because there's been a panic move or chaos or anything like that. We're starting to roll back into gear for the things that were set up in place during Trump's first administration and will be rolling out more fully now in the second one. Now, the Three of Wands showed up again for the near future and just talking about how we're making changes. We've got some success. We're moving into a new era. And indeed, our entire plane of existence, I don't claim to know when, I just hope to be alive as it happens. Our entire plane of existence is making some very positive changes with a lot of loving, benevolent help. And so we can look forward to that. So that's going to be, these financial changes are part of that beneficialness. By the way, the point was also made that since the Federal Reserve is now under the Treasury Department and out of the control of the central banking system, that kind of tells us not to worry at all about a central bank reset. That was just something that they had hoped to push through or trick people into going for, and that's kind of off the table, and that seems to be really good. Our strongest insight card was the reassuring Wheel of Fortune, because in current events, it reads or political reads, since our world is slowly transitioning from dark to light, this is always moving in a positive direction. So we don't have to worry that it's rolling backwards because it is always indicating it's part of the changes that are planned for this plane of existence for the human race. And it's a very reassuring card to see. Okay, strength showed up as another advice card. Just saying these changes that are making, they're going to have echoes that are infinite, but all of them are very positive. Okay. And loving. Now, again and again, we were told, yeah, okay, so as we see some upheaval and changes in our financial system, there are going to be worry warts. Just know that there's not as much to worry about as you think there might be, or that you're being programmed to feel. Okay? If you can adopt a wait and see attitude, that can work to your benefit so much. Okay? Or anytime you hear some news and it makes you fearful, say, what was that news to make me informed? Or was that news designed to make me fearful? And then you'll know to adopt that wait and see attitude quite often. That's what's going on. Okay, and again, another reassuring card. We had the Six of Swords, which always talks about taking a human life, an innocent life, from a place where there's some chaos and tumult and problems to calmer waters and a better place. So again, just a reassuring again. Now we have multiple sixes that showed up in this read. When there were a couple of them, it was almost humorous because a couple of sixes are going to indicate that there's some irritability involved with the changes. And I'm sure, yeah, there's people like, that Rothschild family is not very happy about these changes. And, gee, my heart bleeds for you. I say that very, very facetiously. Okay. I don't want that to literally happen in any way. But again, I just, yeah. People, organizations, governments, entities that want to have control and power over others just for the purpose of having control over them, I find them ridiculously immature. And I know I'm speaking about world leaders here, but that's where I'm at as far as my journey. My desire for control is to control my thoughts, my learning, my reactions, my responses, my words. I want to have control of self, and that is enough. So, anyway, on to the last couple cards of the read. Advisory, use clear thinking when you hear facts about these changes coming up and things that are going on. Use logic. Again, adopt that wait and see attitude when you need to. And just a reassurance in a couple of ways in these three that one of the reasons there will still continue to be some need for the Treasury is because there will still be physical currency that can be used by people that choose to, want to, or are, object to having electronic forms of payment. And that's going to still be honored and respected. So I thought it was a reassuring read. Now, like I said, for those Treasury people that got severance pay of 2 years, they've got a lot of changes coming up. And I'm just glad that they've got a couple of years worth of pay to figure things out and get their feedback on them. Plus, in the next 2 years, there's going to be so many changes that, there's things that they may be able to get involved in that they can't even dream of today. And I hope that's the case and that those changes and things that they can't even dream of are totally positive. And that's what I want for us, to have the best possible outcome to everything in our lives, our world, and our future. And I hope you do too. So that's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and your attention and viewership. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you would like to receive it, and I can do this because I'm just a conduit, I am happy to send you love and light and wish for you all things bright. Until next time and forever, bye.